좋아요와 구독, 알람 설정까지 아주 좋습니다.
오케이. 뭐 코난 게임 좀 먼저 한번 해보겠습니다. 뭐 하는 게임인지 모르겠는데. 오씨. 뭐야 저 새끼. 미친년.
Holmes, will you stop that? You are utterly mad.
또라이 새끼네 이거.
Stop, Holmes.
Is that you, Watson?
Yes, of course it is. And you almost killed me.
Nonsense. I was aiming for the vases.
Blindfolded.
Watson, quiet, please. I'm trying to concentrate. Ah, Lestrade. What is it this time?
They can see me. Well, here it is, and it's a good one, Mr. Holmes. Gentleman by the name of Peter Carey, also known as Black Peter,
그렇군요.
been murdered.
아 이거 자꾸 이렇게 되네. 됐다.
A sailor, most.
오디오 게임플레이 됐어.
Probably.
에이 나중에 하자 이거.
What happened here?
Oh, Mr. Holmes, how could you?
It's the only exercise I've had all week. A grateful client from Limoges sent me a vase collection this morning. I couldn't think of a better use for it.
You're out of your mind.
I missed 4 out of 10.
Given you were blindfolded, that was very good. Can I have a try?
Am I the only sane one here?
I
맞는
suppose
말이긴 해.
that Watson is right, Inspector. A little brain work would be preferable now. Do please tell us more about Black Peter.
Peter Carey, born in 1845 and 50 years old. An ambitious sort, he achieved much success in seal and whale hunting around Scandinavia. Retired in 1884 with a small fortune. He invested his money in a property called Woodman's Lee, near Forest Row in Sussex. It was where he lived for 6
산지기
years
별장.
and where he was found dead yesterday.
Has the investigation already begun?
Yes and no. In fact, this crime is so mysterious that I would prefer you to join me down there.
Give me half an hour to prepare, Inspector.
Take your time and join me there. I have to go through the yard first. The Medi men struck again.
What have they done this time?
They robbed a powder reserve. I'll meet you at Woodman's Lee, Mr. Holmes.
I should help Mrs. Hudson here. I also have several appointments that I must keep this afternoon.
I shall go alone then. I cannot leave yet. I am not finished here. I cannot leave yet. I am not finished here. I cannot leave yet. I am not finished yet.
오 쉣. 아 이거 근데 너무 좀 게임플레이가
This is my archive. I can always consult with.
아니 가라며.
I cannot leave yet. I am not finished here.
조사 씨발. 여기 뭐 조사할 게 뭐가 있니?
You go along to Peter Carey's. You go along to Peter Carey's house. Mrs. Hudson and I will take care of the meth.
I cannot leave yet. I am not finished here.
아니 보내줘. 뭐가 달라질지 모르겠는데 아주 달라지긴 하네. 이제 가면 되나? 이제 되네. 뭐야?
Mr. Holmes, I'm over here. Come on.
Come on. 제가 갑니다. 뛰어갈게요.
It seems that the garden was well maintained.
Mr. Holmes? Mr. Holmes?
Inspector Lestrade, when will you remove my husband's body? It's sacrilegious to leave him here like this.
As soon as we can, Mrs. Carey, I assure you. Allow me to introduce you to Mr. Sherlock Holmes. He's a
내가
detective.
셜록홈즈야.
No doubt you've heard of him. I'll wait for you in front of the cabin, Mr. Holmes.
My condolences, Mrs. Carey.
Thank you, Mr. Holmes.
The garden is very large and well maintained. Do you employ someone to look after it?
It is true, there is a lot of work, but my husband
그래?
took care of it himself.
이것도 좋다야.
Madam, can you tell me if...
At 2 o'clock in the morning, I heard a terrible scream. But I thought nothing of it then. He would scream all the time when he was drunk.
Do you remember at what time you
언제
found
발견했냐?
your husband's body?
시체는?
In the morning, at around 7 o'clock, I noticed the cabin door was open, but I didn't go in to take a look, for I knew my husband would not have liked it. At around 10 o'clock, I dared to glance in through the door and
아침밥은 안 해주나 보네. 응?
Can you
와이프가
please
아침밥을
tell
안
me
해줘.
what occurred on the evening of the murder?
Well, Peter got drunk in the evening. He was in such a terrible temper. Usually, whenever that happened, he'd stay all night drinking in his cabin
Yes,
before
well.
passing out.
그라가스네 거의. 응.
수가 좋아.
Was your husband accustomed to receiving visitors?
Oh, no, I don't think so. I mean, he didn't really have many friends. We lived quite an isolated life here.
여유로운 거를 좀 좋아하는구만 양반이.
You have indeed suffered a great loss.
Yes, life with Peter was never easy, but he was still my husband.
He was different, wasn't he, when you first met him upon your return from Plymouth?
Yes, Mr. Holmes. Oh my goodness, but how do you know about that?
임무의 징무수가 제임스 스미길.
You undertook a pilgrimage to the Cathedral of Santiago de Compostela when you were young. That much
Flamas.
is evident from the rosary in your hand. The shortest route for the pilgrim from England to Spain is from Plymouth.
야, 그걸 어떻게 하냐?
I believe that you met Peter Carey as a young sailor there, and you married him soon afterwards.
That is indeed what happened, Mr. Holmes. How extraordinary.
Thank you, madam.
왜 지금 못 들어가? 오우.
Who could do such a thing? My poor husband.
Mr. Holmes?
아니 뭐 이 집 아니야? 없는데 따로 눈에 띄는 거는.
Peter Carey's body is inside the cabin.
나갑시다.
The door is locked.
Wait just a moment, Mr. Holmes, and I'll open it. I locked it yesterday to ensure that no one should enter the cabin and tamper with the evidence.
Ah, good thinking.
나이스.
Hello.
What is it, Lestrade?
It seems to me that someone has tried to force it, Mr. Holmes.
Let me see.
어? 그래? 누구야? 어떤 새끼야? 어떤 새끼가 문을 억지로 열라 했어?
These scratches are fresh. You're right. Someone tried to force open the door.
I swear these scratches were not here yesterday.
Our mysterious visitor came here last night.
Well, he's not the man for the job. This lock is
그러게 이렇게 복잡해 보지도 않는데 말이야.
Perhaps he did not have the right tool.
적당한 도구? 아, 그거까지는 어떻게 추리를 하냐 너는? 아, 그 정도니까 명탕 좀 하겠지? 오우야.
What a terrible way to die. Old navigation instruments, nothing interesting. Peter Carey's boots. They look to be a size 8.
8문짜리. 조사할 게 더 없나 보네. 아, 근데 저 아직도 가지고 있네. 어우, 근데 좀. 아 이거였구나.
Quartz tobacco, quite strong and very popular.
아이씨 그 자체는. 오케이. 일단 뭐 이건 넘어가고. 담배님. 아 뭐 하고 있냐?
The initials PC have been crudely burned. A sailor's work.
P가 아니고 PC?
Rum, a sailor's drink.
음주.
Someone drank from this glass recently. It seemed that Captain Carey was enjoying a drink before he met his death. The weapon fully penetrated the body. The force of the blow was immense.
그러니까 저 뚫기가 사람 뚫기 쉽지
Man was
않은데.
fully dressed. He was not caught by surprise. It is possible that he knew his murderer. This man is in his 50s, yet he still
그게
looks
주름 돋고 달력이 좀 있네 얼굴에. 역시 대물이라 그런가.
Peter Carey was impaled to the wall by a whaling harpoon.
배 꽂혔다고?
JHN are probably the initials of the owner of this notebook. The pattern of the blood stain indicates that the notebook was not lying on the floor prior to the crime, but it was dropped into the pool of blood after the death of Peter Carey.
피운동이로 떨어졌다고. 여기. 뭐야 전화번호야?
These abbreviations mean something.
뭐야 이게? 기.
Someone was here yesterday. They attempted to force the door to gain entry. This blood is from the pool underneath the dead body. This wooden handle is plain and solid. Peter Carey tried to defend himself with this knife, but he did not succeed. The Sea Unicorn. She was the ship that Peter Carey commanded. The ship's logs of the Sea Unicorn for the years 1878 to 1884. Peter Carey was her captain.
준거?
This place is not covered with dust.
여기 뭐
like the
덮여
rest
있던
of the
건데?
shelf. An object was taken from here. It was larger than a book, a box or a small chest, perhaps. The tooth of a sperm. Hammerfest. Dundee. It's a whaling map.
그런 건 잘도 한다. 조사 끝나주죠.
Well, Mr. Holmes, what do you think?
I think that we are lucky
And why is that?
because of last night's attempted break-in.
Oh, you've lost me.
It is very probable that whoever came here hoped to find the door open. They tried to force it with a knife blade, but they failed. What will they do? Why, return tonight, when they will be better prepared.
Aha! So what do you propose?
루이스네 여기.
Window, where we stand the best chance of catching sight of our visitor. Well, gentlemen, ready your pistols. We have a long night ahead of us. I cannot leave yet. I am not finished here.
We need to find a good place for an ambush. Perhaps behind Carey's cabin, near the window.
This looks like the perfect hiding place.
우리 차는 간단하네, 장소는.
Did you hear that? There's someone there. I'm gonna collar him.
I'll be right behind you.
Police! Hold it right there. Mr. Holmes, come and see what we've caught.
아들이야 설마? 아니지?
All right, my fine fellow. Who are you and what are you doing here?
You're detectives, I suppose. You imagine that I'm connected with the death of Captain Carey. I assure you I'm innocent.
Innocent? And what are you doing in his cabin?
Shall I tell you? You came to retrieve what you had lost after killing Peter Carey, but we were here waiting for you.
What is your name?
John Hopley Nelligan, but I didn't.
Do you deny that you came here yesterday?
No, but yes, it's just that I couldn't.
I'm tired of this. Off we go to the yard. Tomorrow, I'll see that you're put in front of the judge.
What? But you can't. I'm not. It's a terrible mistake.
Enough. You can explain all of that to the judge. You're coming with me to the yard.
But
in light of recent events, it seems evident that your coming here was unnecessary. All the same, I'm very grateful to you, Mr. Holmes.
You are welcome, Inspector, but please don't be too hard on our young fellow. I would like to question him tomorrow morning.